The Titanic. Built in Belfast, Northern Ireland, it was considered unsinkable, so it did not have enough lifeboats for all the people on board. On April 14, 1912, it was a few days into its first voyage across the North Atlantic Ocean. 20 minutes before midnight, the lookout spotted an iceberg directly in front of the ship, but there was no time to avoid a collision. 2 hours and 40 minutes later, the Titanic sank into the icy water. 2/3 of the people on board lost their lives. Next morning, the survivors were rescued by another ship. In Belfast, a memorial was built to commemorate the lives that were lost. Dedicated in 1920, it sits on the grounds of the Belfast City Hall. The memorial shows a drowned sailor held above the waves by a pair of sea nymphs. Above them is a woman representing death or fate, holding a laurel wreath over the victim's head. A small Titanic memorial garden was officially opened in 2012 on the 100th anniversary of the tragedy. The garden has bronze plaques that list the names of 1,512 victims of the disaster, both passengers and crew. It's the first memorial anywhere to record all the names of the victims on one monument. The victims died in a terrible manner. The survivors reported that the sound of the screaming was the worst thing. They could never forget the awful noise of their fellow passengers calling out into the dark night, crying out for help that could not be answered. The survivors remembered the horror of that night more by what they heard, not what they saw. Within an hour came something else that haunted the survivors: the silence. The cries had stopped.